We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership. Every day this proxy battle in Ukraine continues, we risk global war. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad, while they turn us into a third world country and a third world dictatorship right here at home. The State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first. Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy establishment keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization today is not Russia. It's probably, more than anything else, ourselves and some of the horrible USA-hating people that represent us. It's the abolition of our national borders. It's the failure to police our own cities. It's the destruction of the rule of law from within. It's the collapse of the nuclear family and fertility rates like nobody can believe is happening. It's the Marxists who would have us become a godless nation worshiping at the altar of race and gender and environment. And it's the globalist class that has made us totally dependent on China and other foreign countries that basically hate us. These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas while keeping us distracted from the havoc they're creating right here at home. These forces are doing more damage to America than Russia and China could ever have dreamed. Evicting this sick and corrupt establishment is the monumental task for the next president. And I am the only one who can do it. I'm the only one that can get the job done. I know exactly what happens.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, the Most High, our Creator and our power, who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh. In the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord, our Savior, and our Deliverer, the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls JC. His name is Yahweh Shah. Call Halamla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety to the hopeful elect. The damage is already done, no matter what Trump tried to say, no matter how charismatic he may be, no matter what he says he's doing behind closed doors as it pertains to, he's willing to meet with all of these different leaders and different officials from these other countries to pretty much bring about a truce and stop the effects of war. That's not gonna happen. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, Trump and his administration is separate from Biden and his administration, which we know they're all the same. They're all working for the same entity. Okay. Now let's say they are separate, as far as their wants and their aspirations for the country. It don't matter, because it's not about what you want, because the Lord wants war. It's not going to be no peace. You can sit down with the leaders, you can have these meetings, these councils, but war is going to happen because it's a part of prophecy. The Lord spoke that, and that's going to come to pass. And just because you may not want war, these other nations, you can't persuade them otherwise. The scriptures even speak about how they're not going to regard gold nor silver in the day when they, because the Lord already planted that evil thought within these other nations' minds, right? It's only a matter of time before they act on it, and they actually begin to, touch America, right? But the Lord is having everything play accordingly, because everything has to happen in order, right? Because the Lord he's bound by his word. So everything has to play out how it's supposed to, and down to every little detail. It's not just going to be all out war, over 24 hours. Certain things have to take place. Other prophecies have to be fulfilled before that war actually takes place. But that's not going to be, you're not going to be able to persuade these other nations otherwise, man. And the Lord is acting. The Lord is moving pieces, man. Second Ezra 16 in verse I'll start at verse 5. Well, I'll start at verse 4. It says, "A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?" All right, and that fire is manifold, man. The fire is talking about a literal fire in which, America is going to be destroyed with ICBM nuclear missiles in World War III, right? The War of Armageddon. But there's going to be a fire that's going to be kindled even before that war. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be straight up confusion and turmoil, civil war, all types of, tensions brewing over. And nobody's going to be able to stop that, man. Ain't going to be no stimulus check going to stop it. It's not going to be, it don't matter who gets elected as president, right? Because they think, based on who gets elected as president, we're going to have a better term. We're going to have a more decent 4 years. It don't work like that. Because the Lord wants this fire to be kindled. Verse 5, "Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May a man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it have begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer." And that arrow that's shot of a strong archer is referring to the ICBM nuclear missiles, man. Once a missile leaves a silo, it can't return. You can't even return a actual literal arrow back to the bow once it's shot off. Once the arrow is shot off, it's up. And wherever that arrow lands, it's going to land. It's going to hit whatever it's meant to hit, man. Nobody is able to turn away the prophecy of war. It says, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?" Okay, and the Lord is going to show his wrath, right, through these other nations, right? The missiles is going to have the anger of the Lord in them when they hit, right? But we getting to that point, we're not necessarily going to be we're not going to be in World War III in the next couple of weeks, right? But things are moving fast. The Lord is speeding things up. He's moving pieces, moving everything into place. But these people, they're asleep. They're in the spirit of slumber. They distracted with all of these different vain things going on, man, from sports to entertainment to all of these things that's going on. When these other nations, they communicate with their people. They let them know what's going on. They telling them to, prepare. I believe it was in, what was that? I forget where it was. I just heard about it yesterday, but I forget where it's at. But pretty much they're telling their citizens to get ready for a major event, for at least, the next week or so, to stock up on food and essentials, because they're expecting things to get bad. They're actually telling their people, hey, look, this is the condition that we in. This is what's to be expected. It's not a definite thing that this is going to happen, but just in case, get yourself ready. But America is telling you, oh no, hey, what about that game? What about what's going on with Lil Durk, and they're pumping and forcing distractions down these people's throats, man, and they swallowing this shit up. Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So understanding what time we in a time of mourning, man. This is not a time to be, lackadaisical and at ease. This is not a time to be at rest. This is a time of urgency. You're supposed to be on high alert right now, man, on the watch. Understanding that this is the scriptures say, knowing that in the last days there shall be perilous times shall come, meaning dangerous. Since when is it, since when do you get comfortable in danger? When there's danger lurking, you supposed to be on high alert, on your watch, head on the swivel, being circumspect, watching, trying to get to safety. But Jake, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they don't understand the times that we in. Like the scriptures, Yahweh Shah called them hypocrites. How they can discern the face of the sky, but they can't discern the times of the signs. Excuse me, the signs of the times. They know what's going on when it comes to vanity, right? They always want to be in the know when it comes to things that don't matter, things that don't, it don't really affect you. But things that directly affect you and that have a major impact, you don't pay attention to those things. Verse 8, it says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And all you got to do is look at the condition that this country is currently in, man. You can tell we ain't in no time of peace. Things is changing drastically over a short period of time. And here it is. Trump, he got elected as the new president, again. But a lot can happen leading up to January. We only in November. A lot can happen in a month and a half, man. A lot. It's already shit happening in a span of a few days. Okay? Now, recently, because Trump, he was talking all that peace and all that shit, but hey, he's not fully in office yet, so it's only so many moves he can make. He can get on the camera, he can make these little speeches and say whatever he say, but technically he can't make any moves. He can't, make any decisions yet because he's not fully in office yet. Now, recently you have, America, through the Biden administration, giving the okay, right, the green light to Ukraine to use long-range missiles against Russia, which is this is no longer a so-called proxy war or a second-hand war. Now this is direct war. It's like, your friend, he's fighting somebody, right? And you there to encourage your friend and back him up if anybody try to jump in, but then you turn around and you give your friend your personal gun, and now your friend is able to use your gun to shoot at the opposition. Now that's personal. Now this just got personal because the Lord don't want there to be peace. He don't want this to die down or everybody to come to an agreement, man. The Lord said, I am not come to send peace, but a sword, division. The Lord wants that fire to continue to grow. Right? This is via Al Jazeera. It says Ukraine gets green light to use U.S. long-range missiles. It says, let me go down to that. It says United States President Joe Biden has reportedly lifted restrictions on Kiev on the use of long-range missiles, which means Ukrainian forces may fire American-made missiles inside Russian territory for the first time. And again, man, this is personal because, how many times have Russia threatened the U.S. saying, if you get involved in this, we will use force. We will defend ourselves. This is going to become nuclear. We're not going to be using these ballistic missiles no more. We're about to use intercontinental ballistic missiles, not just these short range, small radius thing. It's about to start getting hot. that fire is being blown upon. Okay. It says the move, which comes weeks before Biden leaves office and hours after massive Russian missile and drone attacks, has angered the Kremlin, which accused Washington of throwing oil on the fire. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the decision would mean Washington's direct involvement in the conflict, echoing a similar sentiment expressed by President Vladimir Putin in September. Again, going back to those threats that Putin has been making and saying, hey, y'all already playing with fire. Now, y'all not just playing with fire, y'all starting the fire. You know, y'all escalating the situation. That was a major move of provocation. Now shit about to get real, and those little guns, so to speak, that Russia was using, they about to start upping the ante, so to speak. Okay, it's about to get more real now. It says the White House and President-elect Donald Trump have not commented yet, but Trump's eldest son, Jr., says the military-industrial complex seems to want to make sure they get World War III going before my father has a chance to create peace and save lives. But guess what? Little do he know, it's not going to be no peace. Regardless of if Trump actually makes it to inauguration and gets put into office and he's able to now start making deals and, whatever, making peace treaties or whatever, it don't matter. The damage is done already. Now, they actually went and used those missiles. Ukraine didn't just threaten to use those U.S. missiles, but they actually used those missiles, man. So this is via Newsbreak, right? This was reported in the last few hours. It says Russia claims it shot down U.S.-made ATACMS missiles and issues nuclear threat, right? Which that nuclear threat that Russia issued was against the UK. All right. It says the Russian Defense Ministry said on Tuesday that it defeated a Ukrainian ATACMS attack in the western Bryansk region shortly before the Kremlin updated its nuclear weapons doctrine to allow for nuclear strikes in response to foreign ballistic missile attacks. So yeah, they're talking about nuclear response. Now obviously it's not going to be major. He ain't gonna shoot the Satan 2 on their ass, but it's gonna be, pocket nukes that are able to create a larger amount of damage than they've been creating using those other lesser weapons. All right, and now it's with Putin, it's about to be all bets off, man, because they already feel some type of way about America and the West, but now y'all directly involved in this, so we see where y'all stand. So now you on the other side fully. You was just dibbing and dabbing and being deceitful, but now we see clear as day where you stand, and now you directly contributing to harming us. Those are your missiles being used against us, which those missiles were intercepted, right? Because Ukraine shot 6 ballistic missiles, long range missiles made by the U.S., and Russia intercepted 5 of those, right? Destroyed 5 of them. But one of them, I believe it hit, but it didn't really do too much damage. It started a fire that was quickly put out by Russia. Okay? It says right there. It's lucky. Let me read it. It says Ukrainian forces fired 6 ballistic missiles, the ministry wrote on its official Telegram page, 5 of which were down and the 6th was damaged. All right. It says the fragments fell on the technical territory of a military facility in the Bryansk region. A fire broke out. It was extinguished. So yeah, man, it's on and popping now. Let me get this last article. It says Russia threatens UK with nuclear war by Christmas and chilling World War III warning. All right. I'm not going to read the whole article. It says Western allies, including Britain, France, and the U.S. have taken a big jump toward a nuclear conflict by giving Ukraine permission to fire Western long-range missiles into Kremlin territory. A regular Putin mouthpiece, Markov, warned that the shock move by U.S. President Joe Biden could mean that Britons could be facing the Christmas in shelters. And that's it, man. May Yahweh Shem Yahushua continue to ramp it up and you know, put that evil thought deeper into these other nations, man. Because, hey, these other nations, they tired of America. You know, thinking they can just walk around with their chests out, you know, smacking everybody upside the head. No, man. These other nations, they ready to humble America. Isaiah 13:4, it says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. All right. And, you know, when to muster means to stir up. The Lord is stirring things up. He's increasing the tension between America and these other nations, so that, you know, eventually, again, they're going to act on that evil thought. You know, and if it wasn't for prophecy, these other nations would have been acted on it. But everybody's subject to prophecy. They can't push the button just yet until the Lord wants them to, man. Those four winds are being held back. Right, which those winds represents destruction. 1 Thessalonians 5 from the top, it says, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. And this is talking about the elect, right? Us who are of the hopeful elect, right? The Lord has given us the eyesight. He's given us the discernment, right? The ability to pay attention, to look at things through spiritual lenses, and measure the times, like it says in 2 Esdras 9. You know, measure the times diligently in itself. You know, us paying attention to the events going on, comparing them to prophecy which is written. We close, man. The scriptures say your salvation is nearer than our salvation is nearer than when we believe. Salvation comes after or in the midst of destruction. So destruction is nearer than when we believe, right? In order for there to be salvation or a saving, there has to be something to be saved from. So destruction is very close, man. World War III is around the corner. But again, particular prophecies and events have to take place first and be fulfilled. Verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And the reason it's coming as a thief in the night is because people are going to be at ease. They're going to be asleep, caught up in, you know, the smooth words of man and you know, the championship. You know, we don't know when World War III going to happen, or when that you know, when that destruction is going to take place. But we know, we see the signs that it's close. We don't know what time of the year it's going to be, but we know that, like the scriptures say, you know, as the days of Noah were, so shall it be in the time of the coming of the Son of Man. Meaning everybody gonna be caught up in something that's distracting them, something that got them off their guard, which is why the day of the Lord is gonna come as a thief in the night. You know, people, when Trump came out saying that he was gonna talk to these other nations, he wants this peace, and I'm the one to do it. There's nobody else to do it. I'm gonna do it. Everybody was eating that shit up, man. See, look at Trump, man. He not even in office yet, and he already doing stuff. Man, these people sleep, but the Lord wants them in a state of ease, so he can catch them off guard. Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Yeah, you're not going to be able to hurry up and run to your bunker. You're not going to be able to, you know, sustain yourself when that day comes, man. When the destruction comes, it's gonna accomplish what it's meant to accomplish, man. When the Lord speaks the word, it's gonna accomplish in the thing whereto he sent it. Okay? And that's what's coming, man. That sudden destruction. And it's getting heavy, man. Hey, the bear is activated. They just keep on poking the bear, smacking the bear, thinking that, hey, the bear ain't gonna eventually rise up and maul their ass. But hey, that day is coming, man. The war drums is beating louder than ever now. Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety to the hopeful elect. DTA, Abba Babal, Kwam Yashala. Till next time, Shalom.